I wouldn't hide my face to tell you the truth. Welcome to the series of a Lagos Street Tailor. My name is Oscar, your co-founder, your host for today, and what we're doing today is how to measure a native. We have a lot of things to learn, but like I said, the face won't be hidden to tell you the truth. Welcome again to the series of Lagos Street Tailor. Stay tuned while we take you on a tutorial on how to measure shirt, suit, native, and the rest of it. Thank you for joining. Stay tuned while we show you and take you through the tutorial on how to measure a native, suit, shirt, pant trouser, and a whole lot more. If you really want to learn how to do this, you don't really have to know how to do this per se. All you need it for is to send to your tailors. But if you're interested in also learning the craft, you're very much welcome. Thank you for staying tuned. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Let's build a community. Let's go. Thank you for joining our subscribers. Today we have backstage Lolo helping, and we are on live also on YouTube. And today we have Tony all the way from Southbourne. You might not know where Southbourne is. All the way from St. Anthony, Nigeria, all the way from Southbourne, and he's here live with us. We had to fly in him. You won't believe.
Round of applause.
Anyways, and this is for your satisfaction, just to get you to know how to measure. You understand? So now we're starting this process. If you really want to go through this process, you can start with a video already posted on YouTube about how to measure head. We already gave you a tutorial on how to measure head, the forehead, the temple, the crown. The tape has to go through it and it has to be firm for you to get a measurement for the head. With the measurement for the head, you don't have space. No space is needed. Hand can go through. The tape has to go through where? Now we have to use what? We have to start from 1. Now look at it. This is the major beginning or the head of the measurement. You go like this. Now it goes through the forehead, the temple are the 2 sides of your head, and it goes through the crown or the back of your head. Now you can see. I don't know if you can see me properly. You can see that way. I did it myself, but it would be nice to have somebody measuring you. Now that is my head. Now let me bring it out and see what I have. You understand? Because I'm wearing a cap, it's 24. But when I remove the cap, it's meant to be 23. So it doesn't get any space in it. It has to be firm. But we're not talking about cap today. Like I said, there's a video already explaining how to measure a cap on my on our YouTube channel. It has I think 16,000 or 14,000 views already.
16,000.
I think it's 16,000. I'm not too sure, but we advise you also check that, watch that, and for your own benefit. And please don't forget to subscribe, like. La Balio Collection is the name on YouTube. Wherever you are, on TikTok, anywhere you are, on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, please, it is La Balio Collection. LABALECOLLECTIONS. La Balio Collections on YouTube. Search for that, and our name is gonna pop out with our logo. We are on 980 subscribers for now. 20 to go to 1,000. Please, let's do this, guys. We can do this. Stop, subscribe, like, and share. Now we're going into measuring. We'll start with the native. We start with the native. We call it a buba top if you want. We start with a native top, and like I said, we started with 1. Tony, thank you for coming. Thank you for your presence, and we'll go ahead with the measurement. First thing first, you want the person to turn back. The person has to be backing you. Now we start with the shoulder. There's a template I would put in the video. When I edit, you'll see the template and the scenario on how you should go with the measurement, the hierarchy, the level, the steps you need to follow. First thing first is the shoulder. Are we okay? Can you see from there?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Now we need to start from the shoulder bone to shoulder bone. Shoulder bone to shoulder bone. You can see I'm on 1. I started from 1. The iron part started from the shoulder bone to the next shoulder bone. Can we see that? Now the next shoulder bone, what we have here for Tony is 18. Now when you drop the tape on 18 on the other shoulder bone, you take the 1, you bring it up, bring it all the way on the 18. As you're dropping it on the 18, You excuse your other hand and let this hand stay on the 18. That's you bring in 1 to 18. Because that's how you'll be able to get, turn it this side. That's how you'll be able to get a sleeve. Now you can see, let me try that again from the side view. We have the shoulder bone to shoulder bone. We have 18. Do you understand? Then 18, you bring it all the way, the 1 all the way to 18. You excuse this from that same position where you drop the 1 and you stretch the tape all the way down. Now remember, when you're stretching it all the way down, make sure your hand is straight, and you make sure the tape, because it's a native, and native sleeve are like shirt sleeve, it has to stop on just immediately after the wrist. Just immediately after the wrist. After the wrist, now we have just half inch after the wrist. So we can give Tony 24. The wrist itself is 23 and a half. Am I your wrist, Tony? You're free to talk.
Yeah.
Then from there, we take it to what? 24. Now, not to get you confused, if you are doing a suit, instead of stopping it on that 24, suit has to stop just immediately above the wrist or on the wrist. Now for a suit, now I'll be doing, now let's see his wrists. Let me take this in so you can see the wrist. You can see this is like 23 and a half. You can see on his wrist. Then after the wrist is 24. So what we do is that for native and shirt we do 24, for the suit we do 23 and a half. Half inch difference. For suit it has to be on the wrist. But we're not talking about suits now. There's another way to measure that. I will show you that later. Let's just go with this. So this same thing I did is same thing you do for a shirt and a native. It stopped immediately after the wrist, and we give him 21. We give him 24. Then, if you want to make a short sleeve, it will still be where it is. Then you come, you stop just immediately after his biceps, which is 9, just below his biceps. Biceps is what you call the muscle. Show me your power. Biceps, you see on that, that's 9. It could be same thing for shirt or native. Then for native, that always do 3/4 like what I'm wearing. Now we get it to just after the elbow. After the elbow, we have 15. Some people might like it a bit longer. They want it 17. Some people might want it up to 19. It's up to them, you get. So we have it here. It's still here for the 18, where you brought the 1, 2. So for short sleeve, below the bicep, 9, and 3/4 for native is gonna be 16 or 15, depending on how the person wants it, or 17. And for long sleeve, it's gonna be 24, just immediately after the wrist. Are we good with that? So we have the shoulder and the sleeve. Now for the biceps, we do the same thing. We on 1, we take it around the biceps. That's where we have the muscle. You understand? Your muscle, that's what we call the biceps. Then you make sure there's a little bit of space in it, because native you must always have space. You understand? It has to be free to hair. Also for shirt, but unless for shirt or people that want it to be very fitted, then if they want it very fitted, then you can shrink it and make sure the space there is just. Now for Tony, we can work with 14 and a half. We can work with 14 and a half. It will be nice for your shirt. For a native, we can do a 15. For the biceps, shirt is always half inch lower than a native. Native is always free to hair because you have to wear it through your head. Shirt, you wear it through the front because of the buttons. You understand? So for Tony, now we're going to be giving him a 15. So have that little breathing space. Then for shirts, we're going to be doing, let me say, 14. And that's what we'll also do for suits. But I don't want to talk about suit now. Let's just go with shirt and native so I don't confuse you totally. So for the shirt now, we're going to be doing a 14. So it's going to be fitted on here. Some people really like it a bit free, so we'll give them that half inch, making it 14 and a half. But all I would advise is make sure your index finger can go round, can play around it. If it can play around, down will be too tedious. So you take it all the way like this. You can say I'm pulling the tape as usual as well also. This 14 and a half to see. So 14 and a half goes for shirt, then 15 goes for what? for a native. We shouldn't forget. Now, afterwards, what we're doing now, we're going for the chest. Now, for the chest, we're still using the same part. And please, I think I forgot to mention from the beginning of the video, we're using the inches part, not the centimeter. If you use the centimeter, I can always convert. It doesn't matter. But from Nigeria, we are used to using the centimeters. I think my people from US, I would say, mostly use the centimeter part. But it's fine. Anything you use, you're comfortable with, go ahead. We will always convert. Anybody that wants to convert would understand that all they need to do, let's say we have 13 and the centimeter is 33. All they need to do is check it. It converts immediately. You can see centimeter is 33, inches is 13. You just convert that way. Nothing spoiled. Okay? So we were using the inches part. Then we'll go for the chest now. Then we have the chest. You see the way Tony spread his arms immediately. He understands the assignments. Then we'll go with the chest. Now Tony chest. Now you have to make sure the tape goes around his chest, close to his armpit. You can see, close to his armpit, above his nipple. Just going above. You can see his nipple is here. You can see the tape is above it, so you can get the accurate measurement of the chest. Now for a fitted cloth for Tony, now we can say Tony wants it fitted. You will go for 40. And boy, you'll be looking like all those macho men. But it's up to him. If you want it fitted, no problem. But what we do is this: make it a bit free for Tony. So because the cloth is traveling out, the cloth is going far, it's a virtual measurement, right? You didn't come to the office to take this measurement to do a bespoke tailoring, fit and all. So it's a virtual assisted measurement we're doing here, and it's going to be sent. The clothes is going to be sent to the person, so we need an allowance. So in case it gets to you, it's better a cloth is bigger than you than it's tighter than you. If it's bigger, you can always reduce, but when it's tight, there might be a problem. So we just put a little allowance. So we make it 42. Now 42 should be okay for Tony. Just like mine, you can see it's a bit free for me. Then we have 42 for the chest. You can see what I did. 42. Then how to get the 42? Don't forget, the iron has to be on the line of the 42. Now we are measuring round. The same thing we did for the bicep. The iron has to be on that 42. The iron has to be on the 15. That's for the chest. Then not to forget, the next thing we need to do now is the tummy. Now we advise most times you push out your tummy. So now we have the tummy. We ask him to push it out for us. Thank you. We want the best. If the person goes to gym, it's fine. Get what you can get. But if the person has a big tummy, no problem. Also make sure you get the tummy. Now for Tony's tummy, we have because the native we have 38. We have to make it free. But if it's a shirt, we're gonna do it what? 37. It has to be fitted. Same thing for the chest. I forgot to mention that for the chest for Tony, it's gonna be 42 because we want it to be a bit free. Then for a shirt, make it 41. You can see the difference between the shirt and a native is just that 1 inch for the body, while for the sleeve is the half inch. For the biceps and for the sleeve, for the length of the sleeve, it has to be the same thing. Because the cuff of a native and a shirt are almost the same thing. The only difference is that for shirt we have double cuff, for native we have 1 cuff. Some people also demand for double cuff. We give it to them. But the sleeve of a native is the same length as a shirt. The biceps is half inch difference. While the chest is 1 inch different, the tummy is 1 inch different. Native is always bigger when it comes to the circles. Circle. 1 inch bigger for the tummy, 1 inch bigger for the chest, half inch bigger for the biceps. Now leave the armhole measurement to the tailors. Going into parameters is not what you need. What you need is the surface. These ones we need. Then going to the parameters, you don't have to know about the cutting or anything else. This is fine for you. This will get you through the day. This will get you a perfect fit from your tailor. Next thing we need to do now is measure the length of the top, and we'll go to the neck as well. Before we go to the length, let's do the neck. So we'll do all the rounds, like we said. Now we'll go to the round neck. Yeah, you can see we still have the 1. Then I bring it here. Now for Tony, make sure the index finger can always go around. You can see why I said it's not convenient. You have to go like this. Now, before you do that, you ask Tony to see if it's tight a bit for him. Stretch his head up all the way back. Stretch it back. Now, we can see it's not that tight. It's free. I can get my index finger in. So for a native, bring it back. So for a native, Tony would use 16. 15 and a half will be too tight. Take it back. How do you feel? You can feel it. Now, you can feel it when it's 15 and a half. Now, that's just for you to be certain of what you're doing. So I'm trying to break it down to the lowest, to a layman 10. Now bring your head back. Now 16 will be okay for Tony. My index finger can go around, and even though when he stretches his neck, it's not too tight, my index finger can just have a little space to sneak in. You understand? Now that's for the neck. I hope you guys are writing this measurement down. At the end of the class, I'm going to ask if you got all the numbers. Then after that, we go for the length. Now the length has to start from the shoulder connecting to the neck. It has to start from here. Now it has to start from the shoulder connecting to the back of the neck, just like this. You can see. Now let him turn. You can see. You can always say the line of the clothes. Yeah, that could help. Now the tape has to stay there. From there, you get it close to the neck and bring it all the way down. Now for native, we have 3 measurements. We have the 33s, we have the 36, and we have the before the knee 34 and 39 and 40. Sorry, I can use 40. Is this your knee? No, this is before your knee. 39. So 33, 30, and 36, 39. You can see those 3 measurements we use. Some people even like it longer. Whereby they'll say, okay, after the knee, that's 47.
Wow.
Like what I'm wearing is after my knee. That's a good example. You can see. Yeah, thank you. Now, we always remember to measure any length, the person has to be standing upright and legs together. Not fully together. It's when I want to measure the trouser, the leg will be formed fully together. But while measuring the top, it doesn't have to be well together. It should just stand as normal. Then we take the length. Then we have 3 sides, 3 lengths for tops, depending on how the person likes the top, even 4 if you want. Now like mine I'm wearing is after the knee, so it's the 4th one. So the first one will be 33, depending on how tall the person is. If the person is not too tall, it could be 31, it could be 32, but for average length it's 33, 36, and before the knee 39. Then if a person wants it after the knee a bit longer, then we can go a bit down to 44 after the knee, or 45. Are we good? You understand? So that's for the top. Now from this little explanation of mine, I hope I've been able to convince, not to confuse you, that to measure it top is quite easy. We've gone with the neck. No, let's start. We've gone with the shoulder, the sleeve, the chest, the tummy, the biceps, the neck, and the length. If you want to do the extra one, is the cap. But like I said, we're not going to be doing cap on this video because there's a whole video dedicated to cap on the page. You can go back and check it. You'll see tips. I think I'll post the link on the video on YouTube, so you can always click on the link and go check that to do cap and we'll measure cap. So I think we have for the top already. Thank you for watching, the TikTokers and the YouTubers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being online. For the shirt, I forgot to mention that for the shirt, it's almost the same thing we're measuring, like I said. But please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe. This is free, and you could benefit from this. For shirts, when you measure, it's still the same thing we do. But shirts, it's always length 30. If the person is tall, 31. If the person is not too tall, 30. And if the person is short, 29 or 28. So it depends. For Tony now, for example, and the way I always measure shirt to make sure I get it right, for Tony now, what I do is this. I use his sleeve to measure where I stop for the shirt. The thumb finger, you can see the bone of the thumb finger, that's where I stop to get the length. That's my technique. But sometimes it has to be just immediately on the crouch or just after his crouch. And that's the same way we always get suits. But like I said, I won't dive into that for now. So just immediately after his crouch. Now crouch is, yeah, you can see. Can you do like this for me? No, just like this. Yeah. Now look up, don't look down. You can see what I have. So that's what I used to get my measurements. You can see 29 and a half, 29. You understand? That's why I used to get my length for shirts, because they will have to tuck in, and if they want to let it fly out, that's how it's gonna be. So I think for shirts and native, there's no much difference. The only difference you just get there are just this little difference we have there, with the 1 inch measurement and all. So that's for a shirt. And for native, like I said, 33, 36, 39, and the person wants it longer, it's gonna be a 45 or a 44. You understand? So depends on what you want. So I'm breaking it down to a segment whereby you can make your choice, make your pick. We're done with the top now. We'll go with the pants. You might not see our face or see Tony's face a lot small like you just did now, because we're going down to the pants. So we'll take a breather. We'll come back to this. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We're gonna start with the pants in no time. Thank you very much.